From female teenage vampires to hair metal singers turned grunge, to gun-toting wannabe gangster chicks in hot pink sweats, join me as I take you through 10 film scenes where the music alone will give you goosebumps or make you cry, and in many cases, do both. For this list, I've decided to stick with just films in which the music is coming from the actors, whether it be singing or playing a record, instead of music that was layered over the scene. Because music in film is so subjective, any of these top 10 scenes could be number one on your list. So I'm excited to hear from you in the comments below which one gave you the most chills. Before we start a countdown, please hit those like and subscribe buttons and ring that bell so I can keep you up to date on my upcoming niche top 10 movie lists. Number 10, Death by White Lies, from the film A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night. This is the first Persian vampire western, set in the Iranian ghost town named Bad City, which doesn't initially sound like it's going to evoke a deep emotional experience. And even though it is not in English, you won't need subtitles to pick up the subtext of this very patient yet urgent scene between a boy and a girl falling in love. Only one caveat: the girl is a centuries-old vampire. Well, what are you going to do? Pixel Cult Media commented on this scene saying, "Out of context, it's a tone-perfect hipster romance scene. Within the film, a tense tightrope walk between passion and slaughter. Such a landmark film in ways that many people don't seem to grasp. And if you turn up the volume towards the end of this scene, you'll be able to feel the same sound that the vampire does, which is a beating of the boy's heart." I read another quote which said, "This may be the best ever makeout scene without any kissing in it." I guess you can be the judge. Number 9, Every Time by Britney Spears, sung by Britney Spears and James Franco, from the movie Spring Breakers. Yet again, another film that you would not expect to be moved by, other than with disgust, but writer and director Harmony Korine knows how to take Disney girls like Vanessa Hudgens and Selena Gomez, and by adding a little James Franco, turn them into gat-loving, pink-skied masked badasses in the slow-motion skid into debauchery, juxtaposed to one of the sweetest Britney Spears ballads. Korine, who also wrote and directed the movie Kids, is never unsubtle, and he makes a point about the costs that come with unrestrained dystopian excess and the American dream taken to its logical conclusion of excess, followed by the return to normalcy. The movie as a whole is uneven, but in my estimation, this scene is pure genius. What do you think? Break, Number 8, Suo Gan, from the movie Empire of the Sun. You might recognize the very young English prisoner of war, Christian Bale, singing the Welsh lullaby, Suo Gan, to the Japanese kamikaze pilots at the end of World War II, who out of bombs and bullets were going to fly themselves into Allied ships without parachutes. Regardless of these brave pilots being on the wrong side of history, the human weight of giving their lives for their country, knowing the war is already lost, can make even the hardest hearts loosen. Bale is singing the lullaby to them because, loosely translated, it is telling the pilots that they will be returning to their mothers. And if that doesn't make you cry, I don't know what will. Number 7, the main theme from the movie The Killer, sung by Sally Ye. In this John Woo Hong Kong action thriller, Chow Yun-fat stars as a hired assassin, and in this montage, he mistakenly blinds a beautiful and talented singer, played by Sally Ye, during a shootout and spends the rest of the film trying to make it up to her. And because she is blind, she has no idea that he was the man responsible. And again, you don't need subtitles to know what she is feeling, as it is apparent in her voice. And when the song is translated to English, it has more meaning. So many hopes, so many dreams, all because of such lonely heart. However mistily vague this hope may be, hope is enough to drive me into the future. Number 6, Falling Slowly, by Glenn Hasnard and Marketa Irglova, from the movie Once. Okay folks, I'm pretty sure we are now past hired assassins, vampires, kamikaze pilots, and of course James Franco as the infamous alien, as we totally chill things out with a scene from Irish writer and director John Carney between the two stars Hasnard and Irglova as they have an impromptu jam session at a local music store in Dublin and fall into a platonic love. This comment that I read somewhere on the film says it best in my opinion. It is the feeling of meeting that perfect someone, and you both feel the same way about each other, yet you can't be together. It's painful, yet you still have this special bond. Yes, you want more from your relationship, even though you can't, but it is still love. In my epilogue, spoiler alert, after Hasnard is ghosted by Irglova, he goes on to become the lead singer for one of my favorite Irish bands, Snow Patrol. Number 5, I Love You All, sung by Michael Fassbender from the movie Frank. Okay, gang, things are going to get a little funky again with this next one. And unlike the other scenes in this countdown that work on their own, this scene has more to do with the journey that Frank and the other characters have taken throughout the film. This is also the very last scene in the film, which is about a wannabe rock star played by Domhnall Gleeson, who joins a band with a genius frontman who is most likely suffering from schizophrenia or some other unmentioned mental illness, and wears a papier-mâché head through 99% of this film. That is what makes this scene so powerful, as it is the first time his bandmates of many years have seen him without his fake head. There are many layers playing out in this film, but the reason I chose this scene was, one, it shows the love that musicians in a band have for each other, no matter how bad things get. And number 2, it is Gleeson finally coming to the realization that Frank doesn't care about fame, just family, regardless of how talented he is, and that he needs to move on and let Frank and the rest of the band continue their journey, making music they love, even if it is just for an audience of one.
Come on, we got work to do.
Number 4, Time After Time, sung by Tara Maurice from Strictly Ballroom. When you remove this scene from the Australian romantic comedy about ballroom dancing, you just get a romantic scene. This is your typical Ugly Swan story, and through partner dance, the two of them have a moment that transcends reality, if only for one night. Not much else to say about the scene as it stands on its own 4 feet. You will probably recognize the flourishes from this early Baz Luhrmann film, and as a visually stunning director, expect to see more of him in my upcoming top 10s in music and film. Number 3, Colorful by the Verve Pipe from the movie Rockstar. This film is based on the true story of a fan and cover singer of a major heavy metal rock band called Steel Panther in this movie and played by Mark Wahlberg, and due to a fortuitous consequence becomes their new lead singer when the original one quits during a concert that Wahlberg is at. But this scene has nothing to do with heavy metal other than showing the viewers the death of it and the birth of Seattle grunge. The song is beautiful, and so is Jennifer Aniston, as his estranged girlfriend, and their chemistry is palpable. It manages through montages to show 2 relationships healing, that of his and Aniston, and the other of his original bandmate and him before he left to join Steel Panther. In my opinion, Mark Wahlberg's lip singing is incredible. When I saw this movie originally in the theaters, I thought that he was actually singing. And then when I went home to look it up, I found out that it was the Verve Pipe. Either way, that doesn't take away from the beautiful emotions of this scene. Number 2, Wie du er smellet sammen, sung by Fredrik Dahl Hansen from the movie Copenhagen. This is another film you need to see all the way through. It is about an immature American played by the English actor Gethin David L. Anthony, best known for his role as Renly Baratheon in Game of Thrones from 2011 to 2012. In this scene, his best friend is trying to talk to him about his breakup with his girlfriend, and all Gethin can see is the angel in front of him, a 14-year-old Danish girl, Effie, played by Fredrik Dahl Hansen, that he met working at the front desk of his hotel in Copenhagen, Denmark, one of the most beautiful cities of the world, nonetheless. It is another one of those films that deals with forbidden love, as the character Gethin plays is 25. His gaze just says it all. He's hopelessly in love with Effie. The song that Effie is singing is Wie du er smellet sammen, or in English, The Two of Us Have Melted Into One, originally by Stouffer and Maskinen. And as far as Goosebumps goes, this is my number 1 of all time, even though it's number 2 on my top 10 list. And number 1, A Step You Can't Take Back, sung by Keira Knightley from the movie Begin Again. This is another film by John Carney, and to be honest, I could have put in another 2 to 3 scenes from his various movies. This movie stars Keira Knightley as a singer-songwriter that is discovered by Mark Ruffalo, who plays a struggling record label executive. This early scene in the movie deals with artistic love and the brilliance of how true musicians and producers can see and hear what the average person in the street misses. Funny, I never realized the song was about suicide. The step you can't take back is the one you take in front of the train. But with the charisma of Keira Knightley, who notices? So wow, that went fast. What did you think about my list? What would you add? Please comment down below, and if you enjoyed this little journey with me, please like this video and subscribe to my channel, and make sure to hit the notification bell, as I am in the process of creating several more top 10 movie scenes in various categories. You can find links to the complete songs in the description down below, and I encourage everyone to watch them all the way through. Thanks again for stopping by. Virtually yours, Andy.